and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention for the presentation of colors for today's Veterans Recognition Ceremony. Please welcome the NSU Army ROTC Color Guard from the Southern Strike Battalion and the singing of the national anthem by Army ROTC Cadet Sydney Sturza. Ladies and gentlemen, we remind you to remain standing at attention following the singing of our national anthem until the colors have been retired.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. And now, welcome to the stage, Matthew Chenworth, Senior Director of Military Affairs.
Good morning. First, let's give a round of applause to our color guard. What a great job. And to Cadet Sturza for the national anthem and America the Beautiful. Both of those songs. Well done, Sturza. I think she has a career ahead of her. Maybe after the Army, maybe in the Army, we'll see. But good morning. My name is Matt Chenworth, and I am the Senior Director of Military Affairs in our NSU Military Affairs Office, which falls under the Office of the President. I'd like to thank you all for being here as we celebrate NSU's veterans, military, and family members. So let's give all of those individuals a round of applause. So we've had a lot of talk about this field today, and my reflection upon this event leading up to it is just how fertile the grounds are here at NSU. They're fertile for education, for research, for careers, and clearly for our veterans and military affiliated students. And we are fertile for preeminence. So with all of this, you can look around. All of my NSU staff members and colleagues, can you please raise your hand? I want to thank all of you for your ability to support us, because we have been able to grow significantly in the few years that we have been here. And we are now on the way to providing resources and support to the full spectrum of our military and veteran families, service members, active duty, reserve, and our commissioning programs. And we have several very successful programs. The first one being our Veteran Resource Center, which was our student-first location on campus to provide those individuals a place for them to go, to build camaraderie, and to receive direct resources and services to help them succeed and graduate and go on to continue to serve their country through careers of their choosing. From there, we've grown, and we went from the Veteran Resource Center into NSU Military Affairs. And one of the first steps in our process was creating the Military Affairs Task Force. And this embodies our one NSU spirit by connecting all of our administrators, our vice presidents, assistant deans, and our regional campuses, all 7 of them across Florida and Puerto Rico, to make sure that we are not just supporting our veterans and military-affiliated students here, but all across NSU and any student, faculty, or staff member that we have the privilege of working with. We also have a very successful Veterans Access Clinic that is only a few years old, that initially had the goal of only serving a few hundred veterans a month. I believe we are well into the thousands each and every month that we're able to help veterans and their legal dependent and spouses, which is significant because that is a gap in services that is not being able to be provided to them from the VA. So we have that opportunity, and I feel that obligation to help the families out as well. Again, on the academic side, under our provost and many of the deans, we've been able to create the Military Affairs Academic Program, which extends benefits to both the veteran active duty member and those family members, mimicking much of what the Access Clinic did to serve the families as well. And these are programs and sometimes entire colleges that are providing discount and tailored services to those individuals. We also, in case you haven't noticed, we have an ROTC cadet on campus, our cadet corps, and that is through the Southern Strike Battalion. So let's give them a round of applause because they are all over the place today, helping us out. And this program too, starting in 2019, has grown significantly. We now have 27 NSU students that are now cadets. And on top of that, we also host classes and labs here on campus for other surrounding universities to come to here because of these fertile grounds, because of the support that myself and our entire NSU family is able to provide to these individuals, our next generation of leaders and service members. Through this ROTC program, we've been able to create a nursing cadet program so that those individuals that want to be nurses and commissioned officers now have a pathway of doing it. We also have the Health Profession Scholarship Program that creates our future military doctors. Right now, we have over 74 students that are a part of this scholarship that upon their graduation and being able to don the coat and the title of doctor, they will continue their service as an officer in the United States Army, Air Force, Navy, or the Veterans Administration program. So let's give all of these individuals a round of applause too. We at NSU, we want to be the pinnacle of being veteran and military friendly. And we want to take it a step further by being able to say that we are not just veteran and military friendly, but we are a pro-military university, that we are here to support those individuals and their families. And it's not just me saying it. Clearly, we have these beautiful grounds, all this support to be able to do it, but we're also getting that recognition from our community. We are receiving recognition by Best for Vets for being military friendly. The Military Times also is recognizing us as a military friendly institution for the 4th year in a row. We are now also hosting VA events on our campus, VA health stand-downs, collaborating with our Veterans Access Clinic. We've held congressional addresses on benefits that the VA is now extending called the PACT Act for individuals that may have experienced exposure to burn pits, not just in Iraq and Afghanistan, but anywhere in the deployable regions that our service members have gone to. We've also held FDVA, which is the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs, conferences on our campus. And these will only continue to grow as our community sees the true potential that we have to support and accelerate the programs with our veteran and military affiliated purpose. And now, we have our crown jewel on campus, our U.S. DoD Service Plaza at Foreman Field, where we will continue to host events and programs long into the future. So again, thank you Foreman Field and all of the donors that helped create our flagpoles, our monuments, and this field. Thank you so much for that. And now, I would like to welcome to the stage the CEO and President of Nova Southeastern University, Dr. George Hanberry. Dr. George Hanberry is the 6th President of Nova Southeastern. Got to work on our timing, sir. We'll get it next time. So Dr. Hanberry is our 6th president of Nova Southeastern University, the largest not-for-profit private university in Florida. He serves in the role of president and leads the charge for preeminence at Nova Southeastern University since 2011. So put your hands together for Dr. Hanberry.
Here you go, Matthew. You want to take... In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard among the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders field. That poem was written by a physician in World War I who saw his best friend die in the line of battle. He wrote that poem before the United States ever came into World War I. We were only in for the last year of that war to end all wars, but almost 120,000 American soldiers perished in 1 year. And that poem became the poem I heard every year on the 11th day, the 11th hour of the 11th month, until I was about 11 years old. Every school child in the elementary school I attended knew that poem. And we wore poppies in memory of those. And that poem meant something because it challenged us all to take our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. The torch is now yours to hold it high. And if you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies still grow on Flanders field. If there was anything to let those young men and women, boys and girls, to realize what MacArthur had said of duty, honor, country, it was that poem. My mother had a brother who was in World War I and World War II. So that poem was even posted in our house. And then, obviously by 1954, General Eisenhower, one of our few five-star generals, was president and recognized there have been other wars beside the war that end all wars. And with the aid of veterans, petitioned Congress to change the name from Armistice Day, which it was those 11 years, recognizing the armistice with Germany, between France, England, and the United States, on the 11th hour, the 11th day in the 11th month, to change the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. But the interesting thing about Veterans Day is that there is no apostrophe with the word veterans, because it's not veterans apostrophe S Day or S apostrophe Day. It's to honor all veterans, both living and dead, who served this country and continue to carry that torch. So I thank all of you for coming here today, not only to dedicate Foreman Field, but to continue to live those words and remember why we do honor all veterans on the 11th hour, the 11th day, and the 11th month of every year. Thank you so much for coming. And I would like one person who has been with NSU and he's not able to come to the stand because of problems he developed with his leg defending this country. And that's General Bern Lefke. Could y'all please recognize General Lefke and let him stand? And he has a microphone, and I'd like for him to say a few words.
I can't move. I move my arm, but it doesn't go anywhere. I can't move my legs. I just fell on the floor of my apartment. I'm laying there for 18 hours before Dr. Corral finds me on the floor. She calls the paramedics, they bust in my door, and they haul me to the hospital. I have COVID-19, diagnosed and totally unable to move or even think. They put a catheter, they put an IV, and I stay there for a while. And while I'm there, I think Veterans Day. Veterans Day. This country has been at war for 100 years. We lost 119,000 in World War I. In World War II, killed about 300,000. In Korea, 50,000. And Afghanistan and Iraq, a total of 4,000. So in 100 years of war, we lost shy of 1 million dead soldiers. Yet in 1 year, COVID-19 has killed more than 1 million Americans. So when I think of veterans, I think of all those in Nova Southeastern who have gone to medical school, PA school, all the medical things. And these are veterans too. They're veterans of the war of COVID-19. So as we meet today, let's think of all the brave men and women that Nova has graduated from the health sciences that are fighting this war today. It's been said that the role of a leader is to keep hope alive. And I think Nova Southeastern is doing that. It's keeping hope alive by producing top-of-the-line medical professionals. So let me just depart by saying, may your parachutes open, airborne.
So, ladies and gentlemen, General Lefke is a perfect example of answering that claim. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw the torch. The torch is now yours to hold it high. Because if you break ye faith with us who die, we shall not sleep. Those poppies still grow on Flanders Field. So even though we're not wearing poppies today, and it's not Armistice Day, but it's Veterans Day to honor all, not only the dead, but the living veterans that continue to carry that torch. Thank you all.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stage Matt Chenworth, Senior Director of Military Affairs at Nova Southeastern University.
Got to fasten down my papers, make sure we're not littering. Thank you, Dr. Hanberry, for those words. Bern, great to see you. Glad that you're here with us today as well. And Ray Ferrero, always a pleasure. Semper Fi. Who are my other Marines out here? There we go. Semper Fi, brothers. Hope you had a good birthday yesterday. So at NSU, we like to acknowledge our veterans. And we began, that wind blew a page early. So I'm going to pivot back, slow my roll a little bit, and I would like to introduce our featured speaker today. It is my honor to call upon our Veterans Day celebration featured speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Heath Pafkoff. Lieutenant Colonel Pafkoff serves as the chair of Professor of Military Science and Leadership for the Southern Strike Battalion. He leads that battalion of Reserve Officer Training Corps, or known as ROTC, consisting of 17 instructors and over 220 cadets, spanning 9 university campuses, including NSU, across South Florida. Lieutenant Colonel Pafkoff has served over 23 years in the military and over 21 as an officer in the United States Army. He is a career active duty engineer officer with 5 deployments, including combat tours to Iraq and Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Heath Pafkoff.
Okay, good morning. All right, so I did not recon this. This does not fit well on here, but we're going to try our best. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely honored to be here with each and every one of you. First and foremost, I want to thank Nova Southeastern University for your dedication, especially President Hanberry, Dr. Moon, Dr. Chennai, Mr. Malarkey, and Mr. Chenworth. I truly appreciate the love and devotion you've given our soldiers and our ROTC cadets in this university. Thank you. I additionally want to thank all our veterans here from all our many services that I've met today. I want to thank you for your service and answering your nation's call. And I appreciate everything that you do to continue to shine and share your stories for future veterans of this nation. Now, I don't have a poem to read, so I'll start off with a joke, because it's always good to start off Veterans Day with a joke every once in a while. If you don't know how services banter back and forth with one another. So there was a major general in Afghanistan, and as he was walking the ground in Afghanistan, he noticed scorpions running all over the ground. So he went up to an army soldier and he asked that soldier, he says, "Soldier, what do you do when you wake up in your tent and you find a scorpion on the ground?" And the young soldier stood upright, looked that general in the eyes and says, "Sir, I grab my boot with the utmost precision and I whack that scorpion dead." General, impressed with the young man, moved on. He then comes over to a Marine that he sees laying on the ground. He says, "Hey, Marine," and a lot of you here today, "Marine, what do you do when you wake up at your tent and there's a scorpion on the floor?" And the young Marine dropped his crayons, stood up in the air, and says, "Sir, I jump on that scorpion and I rip it apart with my bare hands and eat it." "Hoorah, young Marine!" The general continues down the line and he finds an airman. He says, "Airman, what do you do when you wake up in your tent and you find a scorpion on the ground?" And the airman respectfully looked at the general and said, "Sir, I call room service and ask how the heck to get a tent in my hotel room." All jokes aside, we're all brothers and sisters who took a part of that 1%er to serve this nation, to be a part of something greater than ourselves. And there are so many reasons why people stand up each and every day to swear an allegiance, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That reason may be a sense of duty, a sense of belonging, family heritage, which is a huge reason, a desire for excitement, and sometimes they join on a $100 bet with their older brother that he still hasn't seen today. Whatever the reason they join, though, they're ready to deploy, engage an enemy anywhere, at any time, abroad, to keep our interests abroad safe and our country and liberty safe. I'm going to put this down because I never really follow my script. So I will say when I was asked to be the keynote speaker today, I kind of thought hard on what I wanted to talk about. And there's something powerful about stories and the messages that stories can give you that happen in our lives. And so when I thought about the message I want to talk about is a simple word, but it's the most powerful word people strive for each and every day. And that word is respect. It's what each and every person in this country strives for, and it's what our service members deserve and strive for as well. And so I think back to a story or a situation that happened to me that was something that meant about respect that I can share with this group here today. By the way, you all look phenomenal. So it was one time when I was at work in my uniform, Household 6, that's what we call our wives, Household 6 called me up and said, "I need you to stop at the supermarket and go pick up some food for the family." And so I went to our nearest supermarket wearing my uniform, and I always get an amusement on the different reactions I get when I'm in uniform out in the community. Kids will often point and stare and smile and say, "Mom, look, a soldier." Grown-ups will come up to me and shake my hand and thank me for my service. And I'm not going to lie, it feels great to be in a community that is so pro-veterans, so pro-service members, to walk around each and every day to feel that. And sometimes people don't come up to me, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. A lot of times, they'll still look at me, smile, and nod, and I know what they mean. But on this particular day, as I was going down one of the aisles, looking for items that I buy all the time but never seem to remember where they are in a supermarket, I noticed an old man walking towards my position. And from a distance, I can already tell his skin was wrinkled with time, aged kind of like an old leather. His eyes were deep. You could tell he had stories to tell. And as he walked with his short steps that looked like little bursts of pain going throughout his legs, he came closer to my cart as he reached out his hand on my shoulder and thanked me for my service. Now, as I noticed the old man, I also noticed on top of his head was a pristine placed hat, black. It was crisp, brand new almost, and embroidered on the front of it, it said Vietnam Vet. Now, me as a history buff, or somewhat, I know some of you would probably outdo me in my history lessons, but I understand the trials and tribulations that our Vietnam veterans went through, the struggles they seen when they came back. And so at that moment, I put my hand on his shoulder, and I simply told him, thank you for your service. Because it was our Vietnam veterans that returned home to a forgotten country of their service. They went off and swore an oath to this country, and they went and deployed, fought countless battles, only to return to a nation that forgot their sacrifices and their families. So at that moment in time, my relationship with him turned into a 45-minute discussion of him telling me about his entire service and his tour in Vietnam. While my phone rang and my wife calling, figuring out why it's taking me 2 hours in the supermarket, I did not reach for that phone. And as we talked in that aisle, I did not one time mention my 23 years of service during our conversation. I never talked to him about my firefights or my time deployed. This time was his. This moment was his respect. And sometimes all we have to do in life is listen, and that's enough to grant all the respect in the world to our veterans. So I tell this story, not just because I want to tell a story that we must always thank our Vietnam vets, which we should do, but it's to never forget the past, good or bad, because you'll never learn how you can move forward as a society, as a country, and as a nation, and constantly get better. So I never want to forget about what the Vietnam veterans went through, because it's because of you I arrive home to ceremonies when I come back from my deployments. Because of you, I'm standing on this stage with an amazing group of people giving thanks to our veterans. And it's because of you today that countless other soldiers that will raise their right hand to defend this country will receive the same amount of respect that I received today. So thank you to all my Vietnam veterans here today. I would also want to make sure I get the last part right. One part I always have to get right. Okay. So I want to also talk about today's dedication of Foreman Field. This is not just a symbol for one veteran, but all veterans, all services, and all future veterans. I can't think of a better field standing right in the front of Nova Southeastern for everyone to see and give support and recognition to our veterans than this field here today. So to the Foreman family and all the donors and sponsors, thank you for giving this opportunity and a little symbol of respect to the service members of this country. So thank you. A round of applause, please. Lastly, I also want to thank President Hanbury and your team of Nova Southeastern for continuing to stress the importance of taking care of veterans. This university, and I travel to a lot of universities, is absolutely amazing in its trials of trying to find new ways, innovative ways, not only to take care of service members, but their families. So I hope this university continues, because one day it's going to be the best veterans university for support that'll be in this country. So thank you, sir, you and your team. This is amazing what you have done here, and I'm proud to consider myself a part of NSU. As I end my speech, I do this out of obviously my respect for all veterans. I just want to thank everyone that's here today. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to reflect and remember those current veterans and those that have passed. And I also want to thank our NSU ROTC program. You all looked phenomenal today. Outstanding job. May God bless you all. May God bless our veterans, and may God bless the greatest country in the world. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause for Lieutenant Colonel Heath Papkov.
So once again, thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Heath Pafkoff. Now, we'd like to move into something that's very special to myself. It is a program that we started and a tradition only a few years ago as an opportunity to share the names of our veterans on campus. When we did this, the response was overwhelming, as we allowed individuals to nominate veterans, and those nominations flooded into our inbox with dozens and dozens of submissions highlighting the achievements, leadership, respectfulness, kindness, and incredible impact our veteran students, faculty, staff, and alumni are having on our campus. We knew our veterans make an impact on campus, and this program confirmed it, with well over 80 submissions for 60 different individuals in our very first year. This year, those numbers doubled. All of these students have made an impact, but there are always a few who just go a little bit above and beyond their peers and are deserving of special acknowledgement. So today, we will recognize and award them with a special gift: a military coin. And we will recognize an NSU veteran, student, a veteran faculty, a veteran staff, alumni, and recognize a contracted cadet who will commission and serve in the U.S. Armed Forces upon their graduation. So, joining me today to introduce our 2022 veteran student is the inaugural Nominate a Vet winner. That is Marine Corps veteran and current law student from the NSU Shepherd Broad College of Law, Mr. George Pinella.
Thank you, Matt. The first person we would like to recognize is a veteran student. She's an Army soldier who is currently pursuing her nursing degree at NSU Ron and Kathy Asaf College of Nursing. She is always so encouraging and continues to serve the community by continuing her education, pursuing her BSN degree, while being a full-time mother and wife, and simultaneously actively drilling in the Army Reserves. She consistently reinforces the American patriotic values to everyone she meets, and she is consistently and diligently contributing to the nursing cohort. She upholds the heart of a soldier by helping those in need. She cares for her classmates and is always representing the students, encouraging everyone in every way that she can. She never tells anybody she can't help them. She is always available to talk to and give advice on any situation that you might face. She represents the Army in the most positive way. She radiates positivity and always cracks the funniest jokes and is a true light to her cohort. She continues to serve the NSU community as a veteran with her graceful and nurturing spirit. So please join me in applauding Shanae Harris.
Hi everyone. Hit to flip the page on me. Did y'all see that? This wasn't a part of the program. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. I'm so glad I wore my nursing shirt. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, George. Thank you, George, and thank you, Shanae. Our second nominee we'd like to recognize is a veteran faculty member. He served with the Texas State Guard, Texas Military Forces as a colonel in the Air Force before retiring, and is now sharing his experience and knowledge with the students here at NSU. He's dedicated to not only serving law enforcement officers who respond to disasters, but also those who are learning about disaster management as a faculty member in the Disaster and Emergency Management Master's Degree Program. He has an appreciation and recognition of his students with the winning of the Golden Apple, which is the Teacher of the Year Award in 2021. Please join me in welcoming Dr. James Greenstone. Going once. Go. So we will be sure to recognize Dr. James Greenstone at our first opportunity. Next, I would also like to invite up on stage with us Angelo Morera, our, again, inaugural staff member and winner of our veteran nomination from last year, along with Randy Seneff, Executive Director of Facilities Management. Mr. Seneff will introduce this year's Veteran Staff Award winner.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to acknowledge a veteran staff member who is a Navy veteran, a retired lieutenant commander. He serves us by going out of his way to ensure that our students get the services and facilities that they need. He advocates strongly for maintaining the NSU facility looking good and operating at peak levels. He is a leader of one of the largest work groups at NSU and spearheads the department's involvement in all NSU veterans-related efforts and events. All department staff are encouraged and given the time and tools to support both department and student-sponsored veterans endeavors. He works closely with NSU's senior admin on the logistics for special events that are centered on veterans issues. He was involved in the construction of the NSU Armed Forces Service Flag Plaza here on Foreman Field. He also extends his passion for the military into his personal life by having his entire family engage in veterans care packages as well as special commemoration on Memorial Day each year. He has served his country and served those he now leads. His inclusive attitude and openness to include everyone is a true service to the NSU community. The veteran staff member we are recognizing today is Seth Mangasarian.
There, shake his hand. Congratulations again, Seth. So our veteran alumni, Dr. Joanny Melendez, has joined us today to introduce this year's Veteran Alumni Student Winner. Dr. Melendez is our inaugural Veteran Alumni winner who continues to serve both as a reserve officer and doctor at the VA clinic. Please welcome Dr. Joanny Melendez.
So, our Veterans Alumni are an important group to the success of our university, as they provide mentorship and network to pass on to following generations. This individual that we are going to recognize today does just that and more. As they continue to serve the NSU community as a veteran alumni by working with veterans to understand their schooling benefits that NSU provides, such as the Yellow Ribbon Program, which allows all veterans to be able to afford an education. Many veterans she encounters while having the education benefit, they don't use it because they worry about the out-of-pocket expenses. So she works with them to help provide them with much needed information. She likes to continuously refer NSU to the veteran community, as they did an amazing job with assisting her to accomplish the goal many first-generation Latinos dream of, the American dream. We are honored to recognize our veteran alumni as a U.S. Air Force veteran, Renee D. Giovanni.
I guess we'll take a photo together.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take an opportunity to take a photo of last year's award winner. Thank you again, Dr. Melendez. Next, I would like to reintroduce Lieutenant Colonel Pafkoff, the Chair and Professor of Military Science and Leadership, where he leads the U.S. Army Southern Strike Reserve Officer Training Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Pavkov will introduce this year's Cadet Award winner.
Okay, who wants to hear another joke? No? No? Good? No, this isn't my time to shine here. All right, our cadet winner this year is a graduate student with a 4.0 GPA. He's a 13-year Army veteran and dedicated husband and father of 3 to twins. He was selected as my cadet battalion commander for my entire battalion. He is an outstanding mentor and frequently shares his military and practical experience with all our younger cadets in the program. He is truly building a team inside my entire battalion and helping to shape the growth of NSU's own ROTC program. His quiet demeanor lends to his approachability, and his willingness to laugh at himself makes him a rare leader who will be a down-to-earth and very approachable and respectable leader as he goes off onto active duty as a commissioned officer. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Cadet Ryan Levac.
Congratulations again, Cadet Levac. And congratulations to all of our veterans that were nominated. Again, we had an overwhelming response to our veterans across our campus, from our regional campuses, Puerto Rico, to even here in our own backyard, for the amazing job that they continue to do. So let's give a round of applause to all the veterans that were recognized by our peers. And on that note, on behalf of NSU Military Affairs Office and all of those that made today possible, we want to thank you for attending our ceremony this morning. We would like to give some special recognition to our NSU Military Affairs staff. Our special events, advancement, facilities, publications, design and construction, public safety, and all of those that made today possible. Thank you for helping make today special, today, in years past, and into the future. This concludes, let's give them a round of applause. This will conclude today's ceremony. We want to thank you all for attending. Lunch is going to be available to you immediately following today's service. We'll have Mission Barbecue directly behind you and a special Foreman Field reception in our Alvin Sherman Library. So again, thank you for coming out. Thank you to our veterans, and thank you to NSU, our community members that make this possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask members of the Foreman family and friends who will attend the reception to please meet at the shuttles on the north side of the Horvitz building. They will be continuously taking you to the Alvin Sherman Library.